K4 5, 6, 7, 8 plan. I do want to, before I actually get into some of the pluses and minuses, I do feel it's important to clarify some information for you as well. Well, you know, you've received it already because it came in the mail, but for the public that is listening here. Last week at the special board meeting, one member of the Livonia School Board spoke in the public comment part of our meeting and made an assertion that this plan, which had been implemented in the Livonia schools, had resulted in anywhere from $10 to $15 million in costs that weren't anticipated. And there were, I think, allegations or concerns raised about student achievement results. I did contact Livonia School Superintendent, and he knows that I'm mentioning this tonight, and I asked for the data that they had on this. And he did provide that data to us, and I provided it to the board, which clearly shows that their original projections in both annual cost savings and in their annual cost savings resulted actually in very close to what, very close to what they actually projected would happen, and but actually were greater than anticipated. And when considering their one-time expenditures, which has to do, of course, with building renovations and bus purchases and so forth, the one-time expenditures were slightly higher, about $500,000 higher. However, the total savings to this plan was greater than what was projected when it was presented at the time to their Board of Education. The other information that he provided to us was their MEP trends, and since before the plan and after the plan was implemented, and it's very clear that student achievement did not drop in Livonia. In fact, it could be very well argued and contended that it went up, but I don't think that's the fair statement to make. I think it's very clear and honest that there was no negative impact on student achievement as measured by the MEP over a number of years. So I wanted to get that correction right out on the table so that people weren't left with a misperception of that. And part of the student achievement piece is also borne out by the research that our middle school principals did and instructional leaders and presented to all of you at the workshop that you had. They've surveyed many, if not most of all the school districts in Michigan that have that configuration, and they found no correlation, negative correlation with student achievement. So let's look at the advantages and disadvantages of the K4, 5, 6, 7, 8 program plan. An advantage is, of course, it saves, has resulted in the most savings over 5 years over the other plan. The annual net, the net savings over 5 years is estimated at approximately $9.8 million. It avoids capital expenditure costs of $21.1 million. And so the total actual avoided capital costs and projected annual 5-year savings is about a little over $30 million in this case. Of course, by achieving greater savings in facility reductions, it will mean fewer personnel reductions, ultimately, for 10-11. There's probably one other advantage I think is worth noting is based on the estimates of our principals, the upper elementary program in a 5-6 school would result in an opportunity, frankly, to be able to restore or continue to keep our instrumental music program for 5th graders. So we think that is an advantage there. And the other advantage is it largely would keep cohorts together. So that's an important, that was an important goal of our district and our board. Disadvantages, I think that's very clear. It is more disruptive than the Orchard Lake program because it will involve the movement of elementary school students really across our elementary schools and our middle school students. It does create another transition in our students' K-12 experience that we will have to manage if you go forward with that. I will say that our principals do have a plan for doing that, and I think they were very articulate in that, but it does create another transition. That could result in a family, if they have 4 children, in 4 different schools, potentially. I think that's a reality. And there is the potential that there could be longer bus rides and certainly maybe more transportation for more students as a result of this plan. So let me just close with my comments. I want you to know